Now, since we did the PowerPivot installation route, we can actually just take a shortcut and have the PowerPivot configuration wizard set up everything for us, which will save a lot of time, and it works fine for this kind of POC environment. If I go to the Start menu and drill down to SQL Server 2012 Configuration Tools, the first one in the list here for me is PowerPivot Configuration Tools. I'm going to run that. And it's detected that nothing has been done yet, so it only gives me one option: configure, repair PowerPivot for SharePoint. I'll click OK there. And this wizard, you can see it's going to do a lot of things. All these yellow exclamation points are telling us that it doesn't think we've given it enough information to do this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my service account here, put in my one single service account that I have, and the password for that. The database server it already picked up. That's the PowerPivot instance on the machine SharePoint. This virtual machine is called SharePoint. And I need to put a passphrase in. This passphrase is really used when I add additional web front ends to this farm. I'm not really planning to do that, but I still have to put in a passphrase. And then if I want to use a random CA port, I can do that. I sort of like to use the same one every time I do an install, so I don't have to guess. And I'm going to pick 2010. And once I have entered these fields, I can click this Validate button to see if the wizard thinks that I've put in everything I should. And it looks like I'm good. So I'll go ahead and click the Run button. Yes, to confirm I really want to do that. And then at this point, just let the automated process continue. So this wizard really is going to use PowerShell and go ahead and configure the farm and set up the PowerPivot service and set up the secure store service. So it really does a lot of things that we used to have to do completely manually. And this is a great shortcut when you're trying to put together a proof of concept system. When the wizard completes successfully, we will now have a fully configured SharePoint farm with a PowerPivot instance installed and Excel services. And why don't we go ahead and just check that and see if it's working. Exit this wizard, and I'll start Central Admin to see if my central admin site is working, which will tell me SharePoint has been configured. And I can see that it is working. The configuration wizard for PowerPivot also configured a default site collection, so I'm going to see if that's working as well. And here I can see that it is working, and I have a PowerPivot gallery that's been created. Of course, there's no data in there yet. If I go to Central Admin and just look at what service applications have been installed and configured for me, I'll see I do have the PowerPivot service application, Excel services, secure store. So that's a pretty good start. It's not everything that I want. I also want to have reporting services integrated mode as well as the PowerView application and performance point. So the next thing that we'll do in the next lesson is to go ahead and install the reporting services integrated mode and get the PowerView and reporting services components of the stack working in this environment as well.